I'm Scott Ainslie, and I'm going to look at the music of Mississippi John Hurt today. And we're going to get some of the left-hand chord shapes out of the way so your hand can get used to those. And then we're going to concentrate a lot on the right hand, which is where John's groove and all the beauty of his playing seems to be. Now, John played a lot in the key of C and other guitar-friendly keys, but there's a lot of great ragtime guitar in the key of C. So we'll start with his C chord, first position, which is with your ring finger on the 5th string. And then he'll often double alternate the bass. His bass part here for the C chord would be 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, playing the keynote first, the C. And that's an alternating bass. A double alternating bass would be C and then G. We accomplish this not by putting all your fingers down and tying them up, but by learning to move your ring finger from the 5th string to the 6th string. So it's 5, 4, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, 4, like that. And you'll move your ring finger to get that extra G note in the bass. When John played his F chord, he'd come over the top of the guitar with his thumb. And often the first string, the E string, would be open or either played as a major 7th or as a melody note. And his little finger, again, is free to decorate on the higher strings. And the bass notes are basically 6 and 4. So it's octaves, 6 and 4. And then back to C, 5, 4, 6, 4, to G, 6, 4. And his G chord will look like this. Now, one of the great things about doing your C, F, and G chord like this is that your ring finger and your redneck salute finger are playing the same relationships all the way through these pairs of strings. They're on the 3rd and 2nd fret for the C, the 3rd and 2nd fret for the F, and the 3rd and 2nd fret for the G. And you're just moving them across the guitar in order to get the... So you have one muscle pattern, you're just applying it in 3 different places and getting 3 different chords out of it. It's a very efficient way to train your hand. So you can leave your little finger down on the 3rd fret if you want. Just to get your hand used to these movements. So we have C, F, and G. And then we have G, C, and D. And the G we have. John's D chord looked like this. And the bass notes are 5 and 4 rather than 4 and 5. Instead of the naming note being the first bass note, the most important bass note in the measure on beat number 1, the 5 of the chord, the A, becomes the bass note. Just for this one D chord, almost all the other chord shapes will have the naming note of the chord as the first beat of the measure. So we have a D there. An A, he often bars his A and uses his little finger to pick up the 5th fret note on the 1st string. And again, the bass notes are 5 and 4, or 5, 4, and 6, 4, if you double alternate the bass. 5, 4, 6, 4, 5. Same thing with the E. It could be 6, 4, or 6, 4, and 5, 4. Both very common. And the 7th, he can open the D string. You can double that note with your little finger on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. And there are a couple of other E7 chords which we'll take a look at. One is to take basically a D7 chord, made with your little fingers, move it up 2 frets, D, D sharp, E7, and bar behind it just with the pad of your index finger to pick up the notes that the nut plays for you when you're in the D7. So you have an open 5th string and an open 4th string, and then in first position, as we move up, your finger will take over those 2 strings, and we get a nice E7 at the index finger at the 2nd fret, your little finger, this little D7, moved up to the 4th and 3rd fret. And there are a lot of fragments of this that get played, but this basic understanding that this is an E7 is important. And you can double the 7th. And you can open the 1st string and the bass string. There's A. And sometimes John will play the 5th string and the 3rd string with his bass. Moving on, we've got the B7 chord, which is common like a C7 except 1 fret back. And you refinger it. And you can move your redneck salute finger from 5 to 6 and get a double alternating bass. And sometimes John plays 5 and 3 first bass notes here. E and 5 and 3. Or it can be 5 and 4, 6, 4. E, 6, 4. And it can be 5 and 3. E. And sometimes John will decorate that B7 when he gets there and go up to a C sharp minor 7 basically and then come back. So you have a B7 here. Now that is 5 and 3 with a thumb up to the 4th fret. So that's B. You'll find this in Avalon, my hometown, among other tunes. In addition to the G chord, we've got a G7 chord that John often plays, where he'll establish the chord with his little finger on the 2nd string. So it's from low to high, 3, 2, open, open, 3 on the 2nd string, and have the 1st string be open or go to the 7th of the chord. When we listen to I've Got the Blues and I Can't Be Satisfied, you hear that a lot. It's a really great chord. Another way to get a 7th is to put a B in the bass, to move your ring finger to the 4th string and the 3rd fret, and we get this form. From the 5th string up, leaving the 6th string out, we have 2, 3, 0, 3, 1. We have 2 Fs and a B and a D and the open G. So those are most of the left-hand chords we're going to worry about right now.